are all getting done what we said we will get done, but still nothing is really getting done. I don't know if I talked too much in circles there.
I wasn't really paying attention, so maybe you did, maybe you didn't, because I kind of zone out when you talk. Welcome everyone to another edition of Drunk Agile. With me, as always,
Pratik Singh?
that's your line, not mine.
No, is
Um,
it?
Pratik, my name's Daniel Vacanti. Do we have any four-legged creatures in your
No, no.
where's Suba?
The Suba is yeah, no.
No,
She,
okay.
she, she's wrecking some stuff
All right,
downstairs. Let's just
okay.
put it that way.
Enough
Yeah.
said.
Yeah.
Um, well then, if nothing furry to announce. So what are you drinking?
Garrison Brothers. We've had this a few times on the show. 59.05%. Um, Texas straight bourbon.
Um, all of you, I'm sure, out there in TV land won't believe this, but we don't plan this stuff. I've got the Garrison Brothers as well. If you see, I've made a little
Yeah,
bit more progress with
look at
mine
that.
than Pratik
You,
has.
you definitely passed the star.
But yeah, so we just, we kind of do the big reveal ourselves right before the show. But anyway, drinking the same thing. Hope all of you have your favorite tipple out there. Let's get right to it. Um, there's a pattern that we've come across many, many times in our career. And this pattern that I'm going to explain very quickly, it not only does it not seem to be going away, it almost seems to be getting more common. So I'm gonna set up the scenario and then I'm gonna hand it off to Pratik to start picking it apart. And this is idea when you do I mean really any type of planning, but we see this honestly mostly with Scrum teams, not to pick on Scrum, but to pick on Scrum. We see this mostly with Scrum teams is uh, they'll take their PBIs, they'll break their PBIs down into subtasks, and then for sprint planning, they'll go through and the developers on the team will either self-select or will get assigned certain subtasks to work on. So Pratik will pick up a subtask, I will pick up a subtask, somebody else will pick up a subtask. The problem with that is that the subtasks that we're picking up are from completely different PBIs, completely different if they're user stories or whatever, completely different PBIs or completely different user stories. So Pratik picks up a subtask for one story. I'll pick up a subtask for another one. Somebody else in the team will pick up for somebody else. And we get done with planning and everybody's loaded up and we get through the sprint. And at the end of the sprint, most of us probably got our work done and we feel really good and we were really busy and everything was great. But none of those PPIs got done. None of those stories got done. None of those anythings got done. Worse, we go into the next sprint planning. A whole bunch of PPIs still come in. They've been broken down. Particularly pick up a PPI, or sorry, a subtask. I'll pick up a subtask, and they're now from completely different PPIs than what we started in the last one. So over time, if you were to look at the work in progress of this team at the PPI level, they've got like 142 PPIs in progress. The team feels great because they're getting a lot of work done, and they're doing a great job of planning, and everybody's busy, and this is great, but nothing's getting done. Pratik, I've talked too much. You go now.
Yeah, it's my favorite part of that scenario is that fact that we as a team get done everything we said we will get done. And still nothing really gets done. We've finished all these tasks, but because we have failed to align on which PBIs we're going to focus on, we have quote unquote focused on all of them and not as a result not got any of them done. Um, we're going to scale this problem up a little bit later, but for now, let's stick at that level. Um, if you think about it from a work in progress perspective, let's say all these desperate tasks that we picked up belong to 10 PBIs. And on day one, the 8 team members picked up their own tasks that belong to all these different PBIs. Our work in progress on day one is 8, because 8 people picked up tasks from all these different PBIs. As opposed to a potentially different scenario where we said, we will limit our work in progress at that story level and at that PBI level, sorry, and we'll only limit it to 2, and all 8 of us are going to pick up tasks from those 2 so that we can get those going and potentially finish those 2 and then pick up another one. Because we have complete lack of focus at that higher level still, and we have this extensive planning at a lower level, that is why we get to that problem of we are all getting done what we said we will get done, but still nothing is really getting done. I don't know if I talked too much in circles there.
I wasn't really paying attention, so maybe you did, maybe you didn't, because I kind of zone out when you talk. I mean, if I were to sum up what you said, I guess with one word, well, with 3 words, that I think, and maybe this transitions us over to the scaling part that you want to talk about.
Yeah.
It all comes down to a lack of flow. And maybe a fourth understanding, a fourth word, lack of understanding of flow. I guess that's 5.
Flow.
Lack of understanding of flow. 5 words.
Yeah,
I am not even all the way
cardinal set of just 4 though.
Because the thing is, the value to be delivered is not at that subtask level. It's not.
Yeah.
Chances are your product owner or your stakeholder or whomever you're building this thing for, they care about the value that is defined at that PBI level. They couldn't care less about the individual tasks. Probably they couldn't care less about those individual tasks. All they know is the team complains that they're so busy, but they don't understand how the team could be so busy because none of their stuff is getting, none of the PO stuff is getting done. So particularly, like I said, maybe this does, I don't know if you want to go there now, but maybe this does set us up for, because it's not just a problem at the team level. What we're talking about here is actually an organizational problem. And how is that? Why would I say that?
Yeah.
Help me out.
Let's let's go top down on this. Let's picture everybody. We all work for the same organization. Our organization has strategic initiatives that break into features, that break into stories, which break into subtasks. If we are not limiting WIP, if we're not managing flow at each of those levels, potentially every subtask that starts a story, because this subtask is in progress, which means that story is probably in progress. Since the story started, whichever epic or feature this story belongs to, that is now in progress. Because that feature is in progress, whichever initiative this belongs to is in progress. You can see very quickly how WIP at every level increases if that pull of the subtask is directing how the WIP increases. And that means that the lowest level where we don't deliver value is essentially messing up the flow at the higher levels where customers expect value.
And the tragedy, if I can jump in, the tragedy of all of this is the people who are pulling in those subtasks believe they're doing the right thing.
Yeah.
They believe that they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. And to be fair, maybe that's what they've been taught. Maybe that's what they've been told. Maybe that's what they understand. And it's hard to fault them for that if that's what they have been taught. But the problem is, as Pratik said, it may seem like a very innocuous thing. Hey, this subtask looks like something that I can get done in this sprint. I'm going to pull it in. Well, guess what? You just exploded WIP across your whole organization because you decided that one subtask right there is something you wanted to do and didn't bother to look. Is that a story that we already have in progress? Is that an epic that we already have in progress? Is that what did you say, strategic initiative that we already have in progress?
Yeah, whatever that.
Without looking at any of that, you've just screwed your whole organization.
Yeah. As Dan was saying, I mean, many a time it's not even the people on the ground pulling this work. Many a time it's someone from somewhere in the organization showing up and going, "Hey, can you do that thing? Do that thing for me right now. Change that database field to be 8 characters instead of 6 characters right now." And you go ahead and do it, and all of a sudden this starts this chain of, oh, that other reporting initiative that we had been talking about, that is now in progress because we've started movement on this thing.
Yeah, but we can't test that initiative because there's a dependency on this other team. Yeah, you got your thing done, but there's a dependency on this other team, and they're nowhere
Yeah.
near ready to be able to start that. So we have to block that thing and wait for this other team. But this other team's already got 52, 65 other things that they're working on. So who knows if they ever get to that thing? And turns out there's not enough red string in the world to solve this
Yeah.
problem, right?
I'm trying to think what is the oldest running epic we've ever seen. I think I'm thinking 1600 or 1800 days.
I was gonna say 4 years or more. I was
Yeah, so, something like
4
that.
years is what popped
Yeah.
into
Uh,
my head.
yeah, I think it was 1600 days. I
Okay,
think
so
that, yeah,
that's
exactly.
do
I
the
think
math on that.
that's over 4, but yeah, just about, just a little, 4.5. But it's but that was that exact case. Somewhere someone decided we're going to start this thing, and then no one else was available to help that thing make progress, and it it just it just sat there because we couldn't.
well. So if I can get us to the punchline, I mean you've already if all of you are listening closely, Pratik already gave you the punchline. But again, I'll start this off, and then Pratik, you
Yeah.
can say it better than I can. But um, there is at any level of organization where someone perceives value, whether it is that initiative level, whether it's the feature epic level, whether it's the story level, it doesn't matter. Wherever there is value to be delivered, there is flow there. There is flow there. And if there is flow there, that means that you probably need some notion of limiting work in progress. Now, we can debate all day whether you should start with limiting work in progress at that topmost level, or whether you should start with limiting work in progress at the bottommost level. I'll be honest with you. My opinion on that is it's fairly academic because you're going to have to end up doing them all anyway. So, you pick what's best for your context, because at some point we're going to have the conversation that all of those things have flow, and they are going to have to be WIP limited. Um, for me, that's the takeaway from this. But again, bail me out, Pratik. What am I missing
Yeah,
here?
I mean, yeah, just to carry that point forward, right? If you're not limiting WIP at the level at which you deliver value, at the levels at which you deliver value, um, your planning, whether it's sprint planning, whether it's PI planning, whatever it is going to be largely ineffective. You're going to start work, you might even finish work, but that work might not be related to the value you need to deliver.
Yeah, your burnups are going to look great. In your
Yeah.
retrospectives, you're going to be like, "Hey, look at us. We were busy the whole sprint, and we did all the stuff we were talking about." Right? I mean, everything at that very superficial level, everything's going to look great. But when you dig just a little bit deeper, you'll see just how messed up that flow is. So I kind of snuck in with the last word. Do you have
Uh,
anything else to wrap us up?
I,
Anything else you
I
want to
had
say?
a callback. I think we've done this before, where we said that if you're not limiting WIP, any amount of prioritization, no amount of prioritization matters. Same thing. It's an extension of the same thing. If you're not limiting WIP, no amount of planning matters. You can plan as much as you want. If you're not limiting WIP, you're not going to deliver the value you need to deliver.
Yeah, throw out all the P's: planning, prioritization, predictability.
Yep.
What are some other P's? I don't know. Maybe we can
Um,
riff on
uh,
on this all night.
I would rather not.
Okay. All right. Well, so that's what do all of you think? I mean, are you in your organizations, are you limiting WIP at all of those levels, that you are um delivering value, or that you have identified value? Have you fallen into this pattern that we talked about here? Is this something that you struggle with? leave us a comment. Let us know what you think. As always, we'd love to hear from you. You know, we'd love to hear your questions. We could probably go on for many hours about this. I think, in fact, there's technically a whole class around this
What?
that we offer around this. Shameless plug. If anybody's interested, it's called Applying Scaled Portfolio Kanban from prokanban.org. But yeah, let us know. As always, so for Pratik Singh, thank you, Pratik, for your thoughts. My name is Daniel Vacanti. I want to say thank you so much for watching this episode, and we will see you in the next one. Bye, everyone.
Bye, folks.